Today I've got Liam Cox. Thanks for joining me, Liam, all the way from Essex.
Thank you. Cheers for having me, mate. Thank you very much.
Nice one. So how did your music journey start, and where did it all begin?
Well, I started listening to sort of deep house when I was like 12, 13 years old, like MK, Shadow Child, people like that.
Legend.
Didn't really, yeah, legend, yeah. Yeah, didn't really think of it that much. Just like enjoyed the music really. My dad DJ'd a bit when he was younger, so he had like a pair of decks lying around the house.
What decks were they?
So I had to go on them. I don't know. I think like it was a controller. It wasn't like 1210s or anything.
I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, I had to go on them when I was like 15, I think.
Yeah.
Then got myself a pair of DDJ 400s. It's like the classic beginner controller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's got them now. And yeah, I just sort of just started to play around on them really. Just got more and more into like the music, just finding new music, finding new genres, whatever. Then yeah, started producing sort of lockdown time, just before lockdown maybe.
Yeah.
But properly got into it lockdown. Just went from there really, yeah.
So like what like inspirations? I know you said like MK and Shadow Child, but like what songs was it that like stood out to you? Because Shadow Child's song, what was it? What was the big one he did? Fucking done a massive.
I know which one you're talking
about.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's got like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that kind of was like fucking. I started going out 2012 house music sort of time.
Yeah,
and then that's when all that sort of stuff come out. MK, Jamie Jones, like Nature's, like.
Yeah, I think I don't know. 17 by MK was like the first like house dancey tune that I heard, and I was like, yeah, this is actually sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm only 21, so I only started going out like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
But when I first like walked in a club, I was like, this is actually nuts. Like, how is this a thing?
Yeah, what club did you first like step into then?
Only like a local one in Chelmsford, but I'd never really heard like a sound system like that before.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this is nuts. And then I went to like festivals, started going to, I think I went to one, what was that festival in Chelmsford? I can't remember, V Festival, I think. And then it stopped. So I went to a V Festival. I thought it was like crazy, and then went to like festivals every year since then, really.
Oh, nice, mate. Nice. I mean, I went to the one that when I was living in Kent. The one I went to was the Social. Do you remember the Social? It was like it was Nick Van Truly's one, but he had like he got like Horton there, Anya Schneider, like Carl Cox, and it was fucking. But another big one in Essex is We Are. Does We Are still?
Yeah, mate.
Still
We
going?
Are is huge now. It's coming up to 10-year anniversary, I think, this year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the lineups that they get are just nuts. Like everyone that you'd want to see is just there.
Yeah.
Carl Cox, like John Summit, everyone.
Yeah, John Summit's picked up really big, hasn't he? Like he's
on an absolute roll.
Yeah, I know. He's playing here April, I think. So I'm gonna try and bag him on at least if I can. But
yeah, I just seen him at Printworks 2 weeks ago. It was unreal.
How'd you find Printworks? I ain't actually been to Printworks. So
really?
I haven't.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's closing down now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's wicked. The sound system's nuts. Like the venue's sick. Yeah, it was good.
Have they like kept all like the original shit in there, like in the actual factory?
Yeah, I think so. Well, like when you walk in, like it's just like going through like a warehouse really, and then you like go up these stairs, and then you don't actually hear the music till like you go through these set of doors, then you can like finally hear the music. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's literally like a warehouse. It's pretty weird, but
that's sick,
it's a shame it's shutting down. I think they're turning it into offices, but yeah.
Yeah, I tried doing that with Ministry, and they have to keep signing a petition to stop them from building like condos. Yeah, apparently they do it every year still to this day, and I was like, "Fuck, you can't shut down a club like that." But it's in like a bougie area, innit? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
So when you obviously started learning your DDJ 400, right?
Yeah.
Did you like self-taught with that then, or was it kind of like YouTube videos or DJ course or?
Yeah, so the DJing side of things was just self-taught really. Well, no, to be fair, I've done a course in London called London Sound Academy.
Yeah, I know one.
Yeah, so I did that, which is pretty good to be fair. But that I didn't start that until like 2 years after I think I started DJing. So yeah, the first 2 years just self-taught, YouTube, just like understanding the basics really. Then I went to London Sound Academy and then used like CDJs and stuff like that there. And yeah, it was pretty good to be fair. They just give you the rundown on everything, like record box, what each button does, because you don't really pay attention when you're learning yourself. You just want to like mix and like make it sound good or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was pretty good. So yeah, a bit of both really. But yeah, London Sound Academy was good.
And so, with the DDJ 400 that you was learning on, and you did the London Sound Academy, was that to like fill in the gaps of what you weren't learning on the DDJ 400, like to get you ready for clubs and that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So the thing that I always worried about was obviously when you're DJing on like the DDJ 400, a lot of people tend to not use their ears. They just look at the laptop screen and like just match up the lines, which to me is it's just not really DJing, is it?
Joe, mate, I'm gonna say this. It's like people call me a snob or whatever, but I'm glad you're learning it that way, because that's the best way, right? And
yeah, 100%.
You know, like I probably sound like a snob, but I think that's the best way. Like, so hats off to you for doing it that way.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I literally started it, because I didn't want to just because I know if I go to a club, I'm not going to be able to do that. So there's literally no point in learning it that way, because it's not going to translate into a club. So there's literally no point. And I enjoy it more as well when you do it by ear. Or like I did a bit of vinyl there as well, which is good. That's proper hard, but yeah.
I think like vinyl, from what I see, like vinyl's sort of coming back in now. People love like collecting the vinyl and fucking like it's more like I've got this in my hand now instead of just like digitally, right? So
it's definitely coming back. I think. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of releases that were just digital like come back and they're selling as vinyl as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely coming back round.
When was like when you broke into like the DJ scene and that then? How did you go about getting like your first gig, or what was your first ever DJ gig that you did? Like mine was 16 birthday parties at school, right? Like charging like 50 quid to like do that. But like, what was your like way of getting into it?
To be fair, mine's pretty different, I suppose. Believe it or not, I literally had my first gig last Friday, so like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Which was at Ministry of Sound.
Fucking sweet. I played there.
Yeah, it was decent. But I've been obviously DJing, I don't know, like 4 years, but not playing out. So last Friday I played Ministry, and yeah, it was nuts. The buzz afterwards is just crazy.
What room?
Yeah, I just want. What room?
Yeah.
Baby box.
Oh yeah, so, that's a sick little room, mate. I love that.
Yeah, it's alright. It's good. So yeah, I just want to get out and play again, to be honest. But after playing that, I'm like, yeah, this is actually nuts, because I never knew that existed, or like playing out to people is just so much better than just doing it in your bedroom.
Yeah. But then again, like you've done it for like 4 years before your first gig, right? So you've got that all the mixing now down to a T. You like your sets and that, right? So going into the paper, you're able to like
full steam ahead. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like the mixing was like completely fine. I think the first song I like messed up a little bit because the nerves were going.
Yeah.
But like after that, it was sweet as.
I read like music books and shit, and I can't remember what one it was now. I was DJ Rebecca. She fucking recommended it. But this guy in this book, said if you're not nervous before a set, then you ain't enjoying it. So if you know what I mean, like, because you're like, fuck, I really need to like, do something here and really go for it. So
that's how you know you care about it, innit? If you're nervous, it means you care about what you're doing. If you're not nervous, then yeah.
And what was it like? When was it busy in there? Like, did you have to bring a crowd in, or was it already full of a crowd? Like, was you warm up, or like
Second slot, so I wasn't like prime time or anything. Um, but yeah, when I first walked in, like an hour before, there wasn't many people at all.
Yeah.
So I was sort of like, oh, what's going on here? But to be fair, I started playing, and all my mates like started chatting to people, saying like, come in this room, my mate's playing in like 20 minutes or whatever. And like my second song in, it was to be fair, I couldn't see out because of the lighting and the smoke and stuff. I literally couldn't see. But my mate said it was like packed, and from the videos I saw, it was like packed, which is decent to be fair.
Wicked.
Yeah. So from my first gig, it was pretty good.
It's buzzing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you get that set at Ministry? Like,
So that was through London Sound Academy.
yeah.
So once you complete their course, they can put you in touch with like Ministry. I think Egg is another one they do a lot of gigs at.
Mm-hmm.
You can apply for them, sort of thing, and then they'll come back to you and say like, oh yeah, you can play this day or whatever it might be. But yeah, that's how I got it through them.
Did you have to did you do a mix at the London Sound Academy and then like they sent it to the clubs and then, or did you have to send a separate one, or to like say this is what I'd sort of do, or?
Yeah, so I think, well, on the last sort of course or whatever they call it, you do a mix anyway and just record it like an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the guy that owns London Sound Academy has got contacts with Ministry or whatever. So then he actually decides himself like what sort of venue your vibe would fit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like according to your mix, and he'll say like, oh yeah, you'll be good, because they do like events at quite a lot of places, like smaller bars and stuff, like, or even hip hop DJs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll listen to your mix and say, oh yeah, you'll be good for Egg, Ministry, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how it come around.
So like, when you went there, did you pick your tunes before you went there, and then like, or did you like, did you have tunes already like on the USB, like to take to London Sound Academy? And like, if you did, like, what tracks were you selecting? Like, what's your sound, or how would you define your sound?
I don't know. It's changed quite a lot, to be fair. When I first started, I was more into like the commercial sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But now I like tech house. I like melodic, quite a lot of melodic stuff. There's sort of a crossover at the moment between like melodic and tech, which I like quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how you say it. Is it Mauer? I don't know how you say it. Like Maur. They've done a lot of stuff on Solado's label.
Yeah, I've seen the name float about. Yeah.
Yeah, their stuff's good. So yeah, just tech house, heavy drums. The stuff that John Summit's doing is like sick at the moment as well.
Yeah, mate.
It's like a lot of vocals, to be fair.
Yeah. He's doing a lot of fucking good shit, John Summit.
Yeah.
And sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say his crowd is like crazy. Like his fan base is nuts. Like I don't know how he's done it. Like he's got people. I think people will do anything to like see him. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I don't know how they've got him over here, because you know what, in Vancouver they seem to like fly. Because I'm in Vancouver, right? They seem to go to Toronto. Obviously, some good clubs there. Montreal, there's Stereo there. It's like iconic. And they just fly down to like LA and totally miss Vancouver. Yeah. So it's like fucking hell. Like all these DJs are going like, but now this year I've seen a lot of them trying to get him in, and it's like, okay, well, this is wicked. But
yeah.
You like you say, he brings a fucking big crowd.
I know,
and he's young as well, right? He's got years left of him.
Yeah, I know. I've never seen anyone like blow up so quick and get that much of like a hard following that they'll literally like fly across the world to go see him. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's like that. I don't know if you've seen him. It's called Mochak.
Oh yeah,
it does that hand movement stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, like all of that. Yeah, I watched. I think you did a podcast with Will Clark.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen Will Clark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it I think it came out last week. and it was just explaining how like he downloaded TikTok thinking nothing of it, and then just uploaded one of his clips, and it went viral. And ever since then, he's just like, yeah, his social media's just blown up.
Do you use like for your DJing? I'll ask this question, like, because obviously nowadays, like as a DJ, you're not just a DJ, you're a promoter, you're your own marketer, you're your own like graphics designer, you name it, you're the whole package, right? These days,
yeah.
Like, do you have like a plan of how to like promote yourself on like social media? And if you did, like, what would that? How would your plan like plan out so you can build your brand?
Yeah, well, I try to upload Tuesdays and Thursdays, just like consistently. I only started this like, I don't know, 5-6 months ago, and I've seen quite a lot of growth, to be fair. But yeah, it's quite hard because you can literally like upload anything, but some people might find it engaging, some people not. So I try to do stuff that will be engaging to like producers one day, maybe like DJs, and like another post, the next post, just like, I don't know, anything that the general public will like. But yeah, I'll try and plan like 2-3 weeks ahead. So like, I'll try and do like, I don't know, 2 reels one week, then a reel and a carousel the next. And I'll literally just upload the exact same thing to Instagram and TikTok because it doubles your audience pretty much. But yeah, I've only been doing this like 5-6 months properly on the social media. So I'm still learning, obviously, but that's what I'm sort of doing at the moment.
Yeah, I think like from what I've found, even with like doing like the podcast and my own stuff, it's like you've got to have like a set plan of how you like, you know, certain days, right? And then it's to TikTok and all that, and utilizing hashtags. Did like London Sound Academy like teach you any of that sort of stuff, or about social media?
No, they didn't really go for any of that. I did do another course. Do you know Toolroom?
Yeah.
They've got like an academy sort of thing.
Right.
So I've done one of their courses, and they sort of go through, as part of it, they go through like social media strategies and stuff, creating your own brand, which is pretty good. But yeah, London Sound Academy doesn't really do any of that. It's just mainly DJing.
Oh, okay, so the Toolroom Academy, like, how did you get into that then? Like, what was the process of that sort of thing?
So that was when I started producing in like lockdown sort of time. Yeah, you know how producing is. It's just can be like going around in circles.
Fucking bang your
on
head
YouTube all day.
Yeah.
Do you produce? Yeah.
Yeah, I've produced probably. Hang on. The thing is, Liam, I'm terrible. I've made music for probably since 2013. I've got a shit ton of tracks, but I don't release them. I don't finish them. I'm like starting. I'm like, let's start another one, and then I've got all these unfinished tracks, and I should fucking put them out. But
get them out there.
This year is the year that I'm gonna try and do it. But less about me, more about. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so the Toolroom Academy stuff. So I was just like looking for a course, really, just like how to produce, because I didn't have the faintest idea. And yeah, I was looking at a lot of options. I think London Sound Academy do production.
Okay.
But I really liked the Toolroom sort of sound, like the stuff they were putting out. So I was like, yeah, this is sick. Like, just looked into it a bit more, and the people that actually teach you are like big artists as well. So you know, like you're getting the best, and they know what they're doing. So yeah, I enrolled for that maybe 2021, I think. And yeah, it's just like a 12-week online thing. And yeah, they just take you from the complete basics to like creating a full track. And yeah, they've got like an alumni group as well, which you become part of after the course, and that's like wicked. Everyone like posts in the Facebook chat, like supports each other. There's also events and stuff.
Yep.
They do like A&R, like just for the alumni, like with Mark Knight and stuff. So yeah, it is pretty good.
That's sick, man. You know, I think that's the way of getting involved as well. It's just like building your network, innit? Like, I think that's one of the biggest things is building your network. Like, before doing much of it, you know, like DJing, producing, and then when you build your network, then you can sort of. I did this thing the other day. I went to we've got a studio here called Northern House, and one of the guys there, he's quite a big producer. He was in the trance days, but he was on about, you know, building a network and then like doing like sort of favors. Like you could say, oh man, I can help you out with this, and then, you know, kind of like, oh, I'll help you out with this. I've got this contact, oh, but I've got this contact. So doing that is a fucking great stepping stone. Like, so like,
yeah, that's literally what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so doing that Toolroom Academy is like, you recommend it, would you? Like, it's a big like benefit thing.
Yeah, like 100%. Even just for, like afterwards, like I think they've got like 1,000 people in that chat now.
Yeah.
So everyone is graduated from the courses. So instantly you've got like a group of people who can help you out with, I don't know, say you posted a mix and you want to get feedback on the mix or a master, or whatever it might be. Like they're always active in there. Like they'll have their input, or if you want to collab with someone, maybe.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely 100% recommend it.
And did they like, when you signed up to that and did that? Because I want to get into the producing side of it now, from what you like from doing it. How like did they tell you? Did they give you an option of like what DAW to use, or was it like we use this specific like DAW like Ableton, and then they started showing you like EQing and how to structure a track? Like, tell us like the process of like how you learned to produce, because obviously we get producers on and your advice might be, your experience might benefit someone else, like, and they can learn from that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So yeah, when you sign up for the course, they already have the option of Logic and Ableton. So whatever you're using. So I think I was producing like 6 months before using Logic. Well, I think I started on FL, like a cracked version or whatever.
Oh, everyone's done a cracked version,
haven't they? And then I just, because I had a Mac, I just bought Logic because it was cheaper at the time than Ableton.
Oh yeah.
And then yeah, so they do courses for Logic and Ableton. So I just joined the Logic one. And then yeah, the first lesson was really good, to be fair. It's a bit different to what you'd think. So I don't think we didn't even open Logic. I think we just talked about like what sort of sound like do you want to make. Just sort of talked about music production, not like nothing technical at all. Just like, where do you want to go with your career, stuff like that. We sort of set a good path for like week 2, 3, 4. We look, yeah, in the first week we looked at like reference tracks, how they can help your production, stuff like that. Which, yeah, I think everyone wants to get stuck into Logic, but looking back, it was definitely like a good way to start a course.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got into like just building the foundations, like what is actually made in the track, like drums, bass, synths, vocals, whatever it might be. And then yeah, they just showed us like EQing, all the technical stuff from there. But yeah, it is really good, to be fair, how they start from like the absolute like beginning of how a song is made, like literally break down a song, then build it up to like all the technical stuff, and then by the end of it, like doing a DJ master or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is really good.
Did they teach you like how to master your own tracks, or did they have a mastering engineer to like do that for you?
So they'll teach you how to do like a DJ master, so like it's good enough to play out in clubs and stuff. But records that are released on Toolroom, they've got like their own engineer that will do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most of the time a good mix, if you got a good mix, that'll be good enough to play out in a club. The master's just like the cherry on top, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's good that you they teach you how to like like master your own track for like DJing, because then when you got tracks you can like start practicing them out on, you know, you're gonna try them out, right? Obviously, and go from there.
I mean that's the ultimate test, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in a good sound system like Ministry, you know, they'll function one right. You're gonna fucking test it on them. But so when you learned how to do like the production side of it and things like that, you learned like obviously the drums, your synths, like, and trying to find your sound, like you said. How would you define or try and find your sound? Like, I know like you could use reference tracks like John Summit and other things on Toolroom, but when you've got a synth like there in front of you on the plugin, like you're trying to find that sound, and like on that. So how was that process of trying to find that your sound through Logic that way?
Well, when I first started, I was doing quite a lot of tribal, like percussive stuff. So I used like a lot of like top loops and percussion loops and just cut them up and just create a rhythm out of that sort of thing. And then I'd have like the odd like synth stab or whatever. But yeah, it's weird because you've literally got so many sounds in front of you. You can go whatever vibe you want. Yeah, I was always into like the more percussive stuff, so I wasn't too heavy on the synths. Whereas now, I've started doing quite a lot more deep house style, but still in the tech sort of area.
Yeah.
So I just use Serum and just go through presets.
Yeah, Serum's old school, man.
Yeah, it's the one, and yeah, it's because it's so popular. You can get so many presets now that no one's like. It's very, very like diverse. Like you can find so many sounds that it is good.
Do you do like any of your own vocals, or where do you get your vocals, or how are you a vocal kind of person in the track? Like, do you like a lot of vocals?
Yeah, I do like vocals.
Yeah.
I don't do mine.
Nah.
Nah. I've seen a lot of people do it where they just like word of mouth and then just pitch it down.
Yeah.
Add some reverb and it sounds pretty good, to be fair. But no, I just normally go splice, loop cloud, or just get a vocalist in to sing a top line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've done so far. My latest track that I've released is just a splice vocal. But because I think I found like a verse and a chorus, so it sort of sounds like it was sung by the vocalist.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do find good vocals on splice like that if you get lucky.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time you just hear overused vocals. Like everyone, like if you hear like 3 tracks with the same vocal released within like the space of 2 months, it's not really authentic then, really. But
no, I heard that with Michael Bibby's track, the Hanging from the Tree.
Yeah.
And I had like 3 other tracks of that vocal, and I was like,
yeah.
Did he get that from fucking like Splice or something? And I thought,
yeah,
and I was like, still a banging track.
That was from Hunger Games, wasn't it? I think.
Was it Hunger Games?
Yeah, I think it's the theme tune out of the Hunger Games. I'm pretty sure.
Is it? I ain't watched
like
Hunger
the
Games.
Second one or the first one.
Oh, okay. Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I think he said that he had the idea in the cinema, I think, when he heard it, and he was like, this would bang over a beat, and then he made it, and then it went. I think that's what made him like big, or one of his first big tracks.
So he must have done it, and everyone else copied him. There you go. That's what happened.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, how did you go about releasing your first track then? Was that through the Toolroom Academy, or did you like go off, do some music, and you got the contacts in your network in Toolroom now to like send tracks to them, sort of thing?
So my first release I was just messing about with what sound I sort of want to make. I just made this piano house track.
I love a piano house track.
Yeah, can't go wrong with a bit of piano.
You cannot.
And I got this vocalist. Well, I was fed up with Splice because I was just scrolling through it like hours and hours. So I just got this vocalist on this track. Sounded all right, to be fair. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. Just chucked it all together, sent it to this label. And they were like, "Yeah, we like this. Can we have a chat um, about like your journey so far, whatever?" So I was all right, sweet. Hopped on a call with them, and they said, "Yeah, we'll sign this, we'll release this." So I was like, "All right, that's pretty nuts," because
Yeah.
I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Um, and then that was before, and then um, after doing the Toolroom Academy, I was just like, I need to change my sound. Like I wasn't into like the piano sort of stuff. Like I still love a piano house tune,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's hard to just release. Well, yeah, I don't know anyone that just releases piano house other than like MK maybe and Paul Wolford. But
Paul Wolford's coming here in July.
is he?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get him on special request, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, his tunes nuts. His piano is crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna try and get him on. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Um, so yeah, that was my first release, and then after the Toolroom Academy, I released on Toolroom. They have like a Leaders of the New School thing,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which is like everyone that's come through the academy, and they pick like the best track. It can be past and previous students, and they pick like I think it's 10 tracks maybe
Mhm.
from all the students, and they'll release it on Toolroom. Which was my second release. Um, I think that was beginning of 2022.
How
And
was
then I
that
had,
feeling? Fucking hell, must have been sick.
yeah, it was pretty nuts. And like at the time, like I was pretty new to all of this. Um, and like I think I got added to like David Guetta's playlist or something,
Oh no
like
way.
from
Yes,
him, and I was like,
quality.
this is crazy because
Yeah.
I literally had no support from before that. Um, and then yeah, I took well, and then after releasing that touring one, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna release so many tunes this year. Ended up releasing nothing else for the whole of the year,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then I released my third track last Friday,
Nice,
um,
mate. Yeah.
which was a pretty good feeling. A whole year not releasing anything, and yeah, I've got another 3 or 4 lined up for like the next 3 months. So yeah,
Have you got
should
any
be good.
other? Have you got any other labels like lined up, like you're looking to like sign, or you just want to strictly keep with like Toolroom or?
Yeah, no. So I've got. I don't know if you know Happy Techno,
Yeah.
Spanish label.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got something coming out with them in like a week or two. Um, and then Nervous Records,
Oh, you got
I've got
nervous,
something
yeah?
coming. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
fuck, wicked.
I think that's like May, June time,
Yeah, Mike Weiss has
which
done
should be
well,
pretty
hasn't he?
good. What's that?
Mike Weiss has done really well, hasn't he? Guy that owns it.
Yeah,
I
he
was
has.
gonna release on there, but then I kind of didn't. But a couple of my buddies did release on Nervous. Just
Yeah, no,
fucking
it's a wicked
yeah,
label.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
I love the stuff they're doing at the moment as well.
yeah.
They're definitely,
They've been around since the '90s, I think.
yeah, 1991, I think.
Something like that, yeah,
Yeah, but they've definitely like diversified what they're releasing.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that should be good. And then I don't know if you've heard of the duo Who, WHO, or like WH0.
Yes, I think I've seen the name
They wear
float
like
about.
black like masks or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen
Um,
that float about on social media and that. Yeah,
yeah, they do wicked stuff, and I've got something coming on their label April, I think.
that's fucking
Um,
wicked.
so yeah, that should be wicked. And yeah, I want to get on Realm pretty badly, Gorgon City's label.
Yeah,
Um, I've sent the A&R. Well, I sent them a few tracks. The A&R came back and said like, "This is sick." Showed it to Gorgon. I think they played it out, and then they didn't want it.
okay.
But I'm just gonna keep going at it because I think, yeah, I love the stuff that they're releasing. So see
Yeah,
where it goes.
it's like I spoke to there's a guy over here who's from Turkey, and I actually made quite good friends with him actually. But he does techno. His name's Kavoka, and he sent track to Second State, which I think is the Wits label. I can't remember. Anyway, shout out the Wits label. He kept sending it, and he kept getting rejected. And then he signed a different email and said, "Hi, I'm this new guy with the same track, and then he got signed like 2 years later.
No way.
Yeah, he just like blagged it, and then he's like, thanks, and then he got his contacts, and then he's like, oh, sweet, cheers, and then that's how he signed it. So even though like Gorgon like didn't take it, just like say like you said, just keep going at it, and or try another email.
Yeah, we'll try another email. Yeah, I know. I should probably try that one, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what he tried.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not even about the music. Like the A&R could be just having a bad day or whatever. And like at the end of the day, it's their music taste, and if they don't like it, doesn't mean it's not a good track.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep on going at it. That's what I've found anyway.
Cool, man. And like, I've got a lot of questions about it. So, how did you approach the labels to send you music? So, you've done your tracks, you've got them ready. Like, how did you know what labels to sign to? Obviously, they probably sound like because they're equivalent to your sound. But how did you go about like to message them? Like, what would be like for anyone listening? What would be like? How did you do it to like approach a label and be like, "Hey, I have this track." Did you write a bit about yourself? Did you say like, "I've played Ministry" or "I've done this"? Like, how did you approach a label?
Yeah, so if it's like a big label like Nervous, the chances of them seeing your email is pretty small. So I'd just do some research, just see if you can find the A&R through Instagram, Twitter, anything really. And then if you go directly through the A&R, then you're more likely to get a reply, which is what I did for Nervous. Yeah, or if it's a smaller label, just the email, they'll normally see it. Just sending it, yeah, just write a bit about yourself. Don't just send a link and then nothing in the subject or anything like that. Make sure it's written out good. Yeah, just write like who supported you, what labels you previously released on, what gigs you've played, stuff like that. Just drop your social media links as well, because if you've got a good following, they'll more likely. Well, it's all about the music at the end of the day. But if you've got a good following as well, it's just a bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then just describe the track and say I really like it. Well, you should be. If you like their stuff, then that's why you'll be sending it to them. But just reiterate like you like their tracks, or like a certain track that's come out on the label, and you've made something similar that you think will fit. So yeah, just do a bit of research. To be honest, don't just drop a link in an email and expect to get a reply.
Yeah, and that's good advice, because a lot of people, like you say, that they send all these tracks and they don't get no information about the person. It's just like, hi, I'm a DJ, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Here's my track, and a lot of just like, yeah, whatever, man. They want to hear like a little story, don't they, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what you got coming up, signed hopefully with these labels, or is it confirmed, or is it?
Yeah. So Happy Techno and Nervous are confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
And Realm is on the list.
It's on the horizon. Yeah.
List. Yeah.
So when are we likely to see these tracks be released?
Yeah. So the Happy Techno one is part of a Miami compilation.
Yep.
Because I think it's Miami Music Week, not next week, the week after, I think.
Yeah.
So that's being released then. With I think it's like 3 or 4 other tracks, which should be cool. And then the one on whose label is coming out April 20th, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is more of a club track. That's the one that I sent to Realm, and they kindly rejected.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, there's a vocal in the track that's coming out on whose label that's just been released. I don't know if you know DOD. DJ DOD. He's done a lot of big tunes recently. The one that he's just released is Set Me Free.
Fucking hell. I think
if you heard some of his tunes, you definitely would know him.
Yeah, I would, mate. I'd have to put a tune to a face and
yeah. But he's just released the tune called Set Me Free, which uses the exact same vocal as I've got in one of my tracks next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I've pitched it down a little bit and sort of used it in a different way. So hopefully you won't be able to tell too much.
That's cool.
Um,
And I want to get a little bit more technical as well. How like what plug have you got? What other plugins do you have, and like what plugins do you use for like your mix downs or your DJ like mastering, if you want to call it if you call it that, and yeah, like what other plugins do you have to help you do that? Because there is a plugin actually I was looking the other day that you put a reference track in, and then you put your track in, and it tells you like where you need to like up the mids or the highs, or drown a bit more side chain or something like that. So yeah, like what other
yeah,
plugins do you use or recommend?
yeah, like the one you mentioned just there. I think there's quite a few variations, but the one I use is Metric AB.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that's from Plugin Alliance, I think. But like you said, you put in your track and another track, and you can literally click AB, and you can compare like the bass, the mids, the highs, like you said. And yeah, if I was to have one plugin, I think that would be it because it just helps so much throughout like everything, like even just like leveling the kick,
mm,
um, or just basic stuff. Like without that, yeah, it'd just be so much harder. You'd pretty much be guessing in my eyes.
yeah.
So yeah, Metric AB is probably one of my favorite plugins. Um, Other than that, the Sound Toy stuff is pretty good.
Sounds always wicked.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, Decapitator, probably use it on most channels.
yeah.
Um,
That's the distortion one, right?
yeah,
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 that's the
yeah.
one.
I haven't got it, but I know the one you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, I think yeah, it's pretty popular. Um, Mastering wise, I think Sonox, Oxford Limiter, I think I use.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think they do a native version because I think the UAD stuff is like pretty expensive.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I use that. Um, the Wave stuff's pretty good as well.
yeah.
I
Waves are
use quite a lot.
wicked, man, and they're doing loads of
Yeah.
deals at the moment. Also, actually, while I'm on there, there's one actually that I will recommend that loads of people have told me about. It's called the God Particle.
Oh, is that the one you stick on the mastering chain?
Yes, mate. Yeah,
I've heard about that,
yeah.
and it just makes
Apparently,
it sound good.
but yeah, apparently you put it on and then it just fucking just makes it come to like come alive like yeah, it's been done for you like it's
Yeah,
I
I've heard that. To be fair, I
yeah,
haven't got it, but I've heard it's good. I might have to have a look.
yeah, have a little look at that one because I've been told quite a few people that's like a really good one, really good one.
Yeah,
S- s-
yeah.
Um,
Um,
another question, a quick one I asked you. Sorry, cut you off there. Was I do it as well, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, and a lot of people do. By the sounds of it, you can actually finish tracks from start to finish. So a lot of people start and can't find the final. A lot of people get to like 90%, and then it's like, oh fuck, I can't find that. Like, how do you like your process to get it from start to finish that you're happy with? What's like your process?
um. So yeah, I think you need a good starting point or something to work from, whether that be like a drum groove or a vocal sample or whatever it might be. If you haven't got something good to start with, then you're not going to be inspired to finish it anyway. So what's the point? Um, so yeah, I'll normally start with a vocal. To be fair, if I find a vocal I like, then I'll see what vibe it sort of fits into.
Mhm.
Um, and then yeah, I'll spend quite a lot of time finding like the right sound, even if it takes me like days. Um, because yeah, I think there's no point of finishing something if just to finish it. If the other bits aren't right, then there's no point in my eyes.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I'll spend a lot of time just finding the right sounds, claps, hats, um, like everything really. And then once I've got all my elements in, I'll just map it out. I'll get a reference track in, see how they've done it, like 8 bars intro, 16 bars breakdown, 32 drop, whatever it might be. Um, and then once I've mapped it out, I'll just add in effects, automation, stuff like that, and yeah, just finish it with a DJ master, chuck it on a USB, just play it in my decks in my room, just see how it sounds against other tracks. Um, but yeah, just make sure you got a good sample to begin with is what I'd say, and that will help you finish tracks because you'll be inspired to finish it and you'll know what to do.
Oh, sweet, mate. No, I think that's fucking really good advice, especially for me. I can't fucking finish anything.
So, do you not finish tracks at all?
No, I don't. I'm fucking a nightmare for it. Yeah, I am. But this year's my year. New Year's resolution. No. What's your studio setup like? Have you got any hardware? What's your speaker setup? Like your audio interface? Like, what have you got going on?
So yeah, I've all in the box. Just got a MIDI keyboard. It's a Focusrite audio interface, like the really cheap one, nothing special.
Yeah.
A set of Adam TS7s, I think they are.
Oh, you got a set of Adams, have you?
Yeah,
yeah. They're quality.
7-inch, I think. I'm moving house soon, so I'm gonna look into getting some audio treatment and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to make my room sound better. But I've sort of got used to it now. And once you got used to it, you sort of know what to do when you're mixing. Like I know Martin Ike. Do you know Martin Ikin?
Yeah.
I've done a few of his courses, just like on demand courses, and he's been in the same studio for like 20 years, and like everyone says, like you need to do it in a rectangle room, and he's just like in this awkward corner thing,
yeah,
with no sound treatment at all, but because he knows how the room sounds, it's just perfect every time he does a mix.
And how would you like, if you gave advice to someone with when you're doing the mix down for your track and they're trying to find that sound type room, do you think it's just practice and practice with that room that you're in, or do you think is there any sort of tips you could give in order to, when you are doing your mix down and making your tracks, how to get the best out of it for your room? Like, how did you do it with your room?
So yeah, I'd use that plugin that I mentioned earlier, Metric AB. Because even if your room's not the best, you'll be able to hear how their track sounds in that room as well. So if they've got, you can sort of match it, if that makes sense, match the low end.
Yeah.
I'd also use, have you heard of Span? It's just a plugin. I think it's free. It's just like an EQ sort of thing, but it shows you like the frequency waves and stuff. So you can see how much low end at what frequency is in your kick or whatever.
I'll download that later.
You can compare it. So yeah, that's pretty good. And if you haven't got speakers at all, get yourself a decent pair of headphones. And there's this plugin called SonarWorks. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
So basically, when you get a pair of headphones, like the EQ, like won't be completely flat. Like I've got a pair of Sennheiser HD600s, and I think the top end's like boosted like 6 dB, and the low end's like 300 hertz is like cut down like 4 dB. And this plugin SonarWorks just like flattens it out completely, so you get like a level sound.
So you don't get any spikes in anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like if you mixed it without that plugin, your hats might sound normal in the headphones because it's boosted like 6 dB in the highs. Whereas when you play it out, it'll be like really quiet. So yeah, if you haven't got speakers, get some headphones and SonarWorks. And I still mix in headphones as well, using SonarWorks, and it's really good. And I'll just go to speakers just for like the low end stuff.
Yeah, is that SonarWorks? Did you say that one's free or that one you have to pay for?
No, I think that's £100.
£100, yeah.
The Span is free, which is the frequency analyzer.
Okay, I've got the Bayer Dynamics. They're not too bad, but again, like they're not very low endy, so I might need something like that. So you're teaching me.
Yeah, I What's that?
You're teaching me, so it's good. Good
Yeah,
knowledge.
this is only what I've learned off like doing courses and stuff. So yeah, like they do cover like everything, like stuff like that you wouldn't otherwise know. So yeah, it's good.
That's perfect. And what other future plans you got coming up in them? Like, what's other than your releases? Like, what's the DJ sort of route?
Yeah, my aim is to sort of play out more.
You have the clubs
Go
lined
to
up?
Clubs, events, anything and everything.
Yeah.
Just like get my name out there. Just like talk to some promoters. Yeah, just see where it goes really. But yeah, like this is the first year that I really want to start playing out regularly. Yeah, just get myself known really.
Yeah, and hopefully next year be some festivals maybe when we are, you know what I mean?
Hopefully, mate. Yeah, hopefully.
That'd be sick, wouldn't it?
Hope.
That'd be sick. Yeah, mate, I think we'll brush it up there. Like, it was good to fucking meet you, and it was good to learn about how you've started your journey and go forward, and like the productions kind of stuff, the DJing stuff. So I've learned something new today, and that's the thing why I love doing this, is because it doesn't matter who you meet, like there's always a wealth of knowledge from someone, so that can benefit someone else.
It's wicked.
Is there anything else you want to plug or anything?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at it's Liam Cox. Same with TikTok, Twitter. Don't really use Facebook, but yeah, at it's Liam Cox. Instagram is what I mainly use. So yeah, give me a follow.
Sweet, mate. And check out your new release coming out
March 20th.
March 20th on Toolroom.
Happy Tech Night.
On what, sorry?
On Happy Tech Night.
All right, sweet, yeah. Perfect,
yeah.
Mate. I'll put all that in the description as well anyway. So if you send me the links, I'll put all that in the description, like YouTube video and all that sort of stuff. And I'll share it for you, mate.
Oh, wicked. Thanks for having me on, mate.
No, I appreciate it. I like I say, I was going through social media and I was like following Toolroom and stuff like that, and then I saw like your name pop up, and I was like, fucking hell, like done quite well, like that's a good label to get on, right? And you're from like Essex as well and UK, so I thought, fuck it, I'll get you on, and then
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No, I don't do this just for me. I do this, I've interviewed big DJs, small DJs, whatever, all part of the spectrum, and it gives you a platform to show who you are as well to your
that's
to your crew.
That's why I was surprised when you sort of asked me, because I was like, I've seen you've done like much bigger people, like artists and stuff. So I appreciate it.
Nah, again, when I started this podcast, I didn't want to be like the guy that's like, I don't want to get big people on to fucking like get the numbers and followers and shit like that. I was like, I've been started and I've been all over the place with doing it, and sometimes I've never had a voice, and so when I spoke to my missus, I was like, when I started, I'm giving everyone a voice, all levels of DJing and producing. So
it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, so appreciate you coming on, mate. Thank you very much.